Hello, my name is Luna, and I will be doing the Beltane Spread today. Now, this is a message for all those that are looking forward to this new year. And what Beltane kind of celebrates is that passion, but most importantly, fertility. So, let's go ahead and get started. For those of you that chose number one, we're going to go ahead and start with your general energy. And from this, Loomis Warrior. Now, what you guys have to look forward to is going to be fixation of emotion. Because whenever I look at the guidance of the spread, what they're showing me is to not be numb of emotion, to not be critical of lack of progress. Okay? Because ultimately, where you are now does not define where you're supposed to be or where you're going forward. So, with that being said, what do you have to look forward to? They're showing me like within the next couple of months, and they are giving me the number 4 right here. So within the next 4 months is going to be absolutely important when it comes to the terms of getting outside of our cage selves. For you guys that are number 1, please understand that you have been taking on the hits. And with these hits, it's kind of put you in a place of mentally, emotionally speaking, of being blocked, of numbing. And it's kind of like picking up your boots and soldering on kind of thing. And even though that works well, it's not going to work well for long because it's deteriorating you. So the message here is to come out of that cage that others have put you in. Okay? Because a lot of what I feel is going to be burdens of truth or even burdens of lies that come from the outside. So, in other words, it's sourced from outside of you. So, think of like family, think of friends, think of even strangers influencing our own decisions, making us kind of like look at ourselves, take a step back, and be like, maybe I'm not that great. Well, you are. Okay. And that's why they're asking you to come forward as a warrior, sorry, not a warrior. So, warrior, guys, because with what's coming forward for you is dramatic change, dramatic transition. And this is going to be easily obtained as long as you're willing to get up and stick up for yourself. So have that confidence, have that ability to shove like everything within you aside and be like, no, I'm no longer going to be defined. I'm no longer going to linger in chaos or suffering because I deserve better. I deserve more. Okay, number 1s. So whenever that begins to process, look outside of yourself because you're going to realize that the only reason why you're feeling caged is because of here. You are limiting yourself. You are allowing yourself to be limited. And it is with that you need to restart over with a clean slate. And this is going to be from your own expectations, your own wants and your own needs need to be redefined so that they are a little bit more selfish in terms of, okay, I need to dictate my life. Like, no more influences, no more negative influences. Let me put it that way. So that you can flourish. And they show me that ultimately the 5th month from now is going to be your ultimate stand. It's going to be your ultimate challenge. And if you face this challenge, that yes, you can have fear, but if you face this challenge head on, then all your passions will be reached. All the benefits of the blessings of like a good harvest are to come into play. Okay, so that's exactly what you have to look forward to. But first, this is where you have to do all the hard work. And the hard work is going to show, hey, let's not be stagnant. Let's make that decision to keep on going forward. Let's shed away things that no longer serve purpose. And that's exactly what this mentality is about, because it's going forward. It's digging our heels in the earth so that we can stabilize ourselves for that one moment. That way we can fully walk forward without looking back. Because that's what you've been doing, number one. You've been looking back way too long. So it's time to move forward. Okay? Because the end result is this. Okay? And that's flourishing. That's satisfaction. That is confidence blooming in every essence possible. Okay? So, for those of you that picked number 2, here we go. The Rainmaker. Okay, so when I was pulling the spread for number 2, all I kept feeling was joyous. And that's exactly what you have to look forward to. It's going to be the interchanging of ideas. And I say ideas because I keep seeing advice here, advice there. And this is where our better judgments are going to dictate our next step, our next journey. Now, with this, it also shows that within the next couple months, you're going to have a lot of people coming in and out of your life. And this is just within the next couple of months. And it's just like you're going to meet people. And the important thing is to be proud of who you are. Do not compare, do not contrast. The opportunity of meeting these individuals is to understand more of yourself so that you can see yourself in others, and you can also see the parts of them that you want to captivate in yourself. So it's about bringing yourself up, because all I keep seeing here are the idealism of who you're supposed to be. No one dictates who you're supposed to be other than yourself. Now, whenever I keep seeing this, though, it's just like you are finding reasons and excuses to be as you are. In other words, I'm not so prideful of myself because this and this happened, years ago. No, there's no reason to keep on pulling the weight of mistakes, because that's exactly what I'm seeing here. And whenever you go forward, and I see, this is what's amazing within these next couple months, because they're showing me a complete transition from here to the next 6 months, a complete transition. And it's amazing because it's just setting a forest on fire. But guess what happens afterwards? It's that nutrition of the ashes that has that whole phoenix effect, and then in grows a new forest, the new wilderness. And that's exactly what's going to happen as you begin to adapt, as you begin to bend principles, as you begin to change beliefs. And what they're showing me is the release of hopelessness, so that you can overall start gaining a new hope, a new faith. And this can either be faith in yourself or faith in something else. And this is why the Rainmaker is here, to bring on new, to bring in, I want to keep saying harmonious, because that's exactly what I see. It's not just harmonious for you, number 2s, it's also harmonious for all those that you love and even the people that you'll meet. Because this comes the opportunity of love and salvation for you. And it's wonderful because it's just like anything that you'll decide to build is supposed to be a success. as long as it's built with the right intention. So if your intention is to build for myself and others, expect everything that you're wishing for to flourish. Now, this is where we do have to get out of our comfort zone, because that's exactly what I'm seeing, because I'm seeing the community projects here. So anything community projects, go for it. And as far as individual growth, um, this is where they say scraping. Okay, so it's like taking our skin off. You know how you get like a bad sunburn and you're just like taking off the flakes of dead skin? They're saying that's exactly what you're going to need to do. In other words, become a new you. Because at the end of the 6 months, I keep seeing tree growth. And whenever I see tree growth, that means the extension of family. So with some of you, expect a new member. And this could be anywhere between like, a mini me to engagements. I don't know. For a lot of you, expect new members of your household, okay? And that could also mean a new puppy. Either way, congratulations to y'all, okay? So that is going to be the message for number 2. Now, number 3. Let's see. It says corn. Okay, so that's going to be the general energy. Now, with this spread, I kept getting a lot of chaos, and it was just like a lot of movement of energy, and it was just like quick reflexes. So this is where the individuals that picked number 3, you guys are definitely going to be quick on your feet, and you're going to need to be with what's going to happen. So with this, there is a lot of 6 energy. 6 energy is going to be about nurturing others, nurturing self, nurturing even our psyche. Okay, so that's our intellectual ability and the knowing. Now, don't get that entangled with like being a know-it-all, but instead use it to captivate a new audience. I say that because it just feels that the community in which you are around, you have outgrown or you need to outgrow. With that being said, you won't be able to collect your harvest until you uproot yourself and into new soil. So this does mean being very adaptive to what's going on with you. And this is where you're going to expect a lot of little challenges to happen. You're going to see it as bad luck. You're going to see it as misfortune. But that's not what it is. That is the universe's way of saying, hey, we don't need you here. We need you here. Okay? Because where you're trying to grow is just non-nutritious, dry dirt. We don't need you in dirt. We need you in this valuable mineral, rare resourced soil, So let's put you here. But the thing is that if you are too ingrained with where you are and what you consider home, you're missing out on the benefits of your next evolution state. So this is where they're saying, look, dive into research, but also dive into your intuition. So those of you that have picked number 3, intuition is definitely going to guide you. It's going to shove you even. And you're going to realize that this is going to be very amazing to do because it's going to be a smooth and steady transition as long as you're willing, as long as you're open to the flow of energy. However, for those of you that are very, very cautious of your next step, don't be. Trust me, you're going to get taken care of because everything is going to come together. And like whenever I feel this, they're saying like, look, there's no reason to put on a falsity anymore. There's no reason to put on a mask. There's no reason to hide yourself anymore. Okay? And that means being honest to others, being honest to yourself with what you believe in. Because again, this is where you have outgrown your environment. And there is no limits. But right now you're being limited. So now it's time to change. Now, what you're not understanding is that the world you create is going to be bigger, brighter, beautiful. Okay? And it's going to be in its full effect of benefit. However, though, there is going to be this subconscious, if not already conscious, I'm going to say fixation to not want to move. Because you're just like, no, I'm content. I know what I'm doing here. There's no uncertainty. There's just what I know, the routine. No. Guys, this is where you take risks. Because the risk is not in where you're going. It's what you can benefit from it. This is definitely a new venture. But you can't expect to experience this being rooted to the environment you're in, being rooted to the beliefs you have, being rooted to the limitations that you're so used to. So this is where you reach out. Because with this guided intuition, you'll begin to realize that the true danger is not in your future, but instead your past. In other words, not to live in the past. Because all I keep seeing is this outstretched hand of, I have what you need. And that's guidance, that's help, that's assistance from the universe itself. And only at that point in time will you realize how many plants you have planted and how much of it you have, so that whenever harvest comes, you're more than able and have more avail to yourself to share. Okay? So I gotta say, I'm going to enjoy seeing a lot of you change. And like I said, guys, this is supposed to be change for the better. Just go with it. Because I see progression and movement. It's amazing. Okay, so for those of you that chose number 4, we have the heart of the sky. Okay, so it's going to be your general energy basis. Now, with the rest of it, though, I kept feeling like the shaking of energy. And to me, this is going to be on the spectrum of anything that is material. So it can be family, it can be finances, or career. Because that's everything that is of material. Now, what they're showing you here, though, is that nothing of material is going to serve its purpose in filling gaps that another source has. What that means is that to fit the right puzzle pieces together, you need one exact piece. You can't just get like another puzzle piece from a different picture and expect it to fit in your picture. No, it doesn't work that way. So this is where you're going to feel like a lot of different fragments are missing from you. And you're just like, so how do I fill the gap? How do I complete myself so that I can flourish later? Well, see, that's the thing, is kind of like self-medicating. Our own properties of self-medicating aren't always exact. So this is where you actually have to dive in deep and see where the root cause of fears or this incompleteness feeling, or just of what you're missing or what makes you feel like you're lost, of like not having everything like right in front of you. Because like with the energy that I felt with you guys was just like, okay, where's my path? Like, where is it? What do I do next? What do I do after that? Um, or am I just wasting my time? And there was definitely a lot of energy saying, hey, yes, the the journey is open. My opportunities are open, but there's that but this and this and this, okay? And my guidance to you is to not exactly fixate on one thing at a time, but instead to consider the many resources that you have. Because whenever I tapped into your guys' energy, it really foretold me of extension of self rather than self-isolation. Okay, in other words, this is a time period that you're gonna feel a little hopeless. You're gonna be like, okay, I'm losing my way more and more. And this is uh, in the next couple of months coming forward. No, they even said weeks, in the next couple of weeks going forward, if not already now, that you're just like, I'm not at my full capacity. I'm feeling fatigued. I'm feeling drained. I'm feeling like I can't put my mind on one thing, but yet I can't think of multiple things at one time. So it's just like having to juggle things, but not having the energy to juggle. Okay, so you guys are definitely very, very extended on energy, spread out on energy, sorry. And what you're being told to ask is, in the weirdest way, navigate through your heart chakra. Okay, you have to rekindle that passion within you, because something's happened along the way that you lost it. So it's just like, what do you want? Why have you been led to this semi stagnation period? Why have you been led to this period to continuously hold on to missing pieces of yourself? Okay, of the idea of, hey, I'm not whole, therefore, what can I do to replace it instead? Because you're going to realize that as long as you're setting your sights on passion, you will be able to fill in those gaps. The thing is that there's a difference between filling in gaps because that piece truly belongs there versus filling in the gaps with something that is just a temporary fix. Okay? Now, with you guys, you are not supposed to move quickly. Your progress is not going to be quick. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be very, very slow. It's going to be gradual, because this is a time period that you need to settle in and be proud of what you have already accomplished. Okay? And look and count your accomplishments. Count all the pros of being who you are and what you have done. And if you feel like you haven't done enough for others, well, then start collecting those good deed brownie points that the universe tends to list. Okay? Because you'll start realizing that you're being given a second chance. And I do want to say a second chance because of what is going to happen. What is happening to you guys? Because all I keep feeling is that you have a weighted hand on you. In other words, this is feminine energy of protection. So it's just like kind of like having that sacred angel, maybe goddess energy. I don't know what you guys believe in, but trust me, this is a weighted hand of, I got you, but I'm going to push you. Okay. And this is something that you really, really just got to follow through with. And remember, one step at a time. Because what feels like 9 months from now, your whole wheelhouse is going to change in sense of fortune. And that's when you'll be able to build on top of buildings, okay? And it will be phenomenal, to say the least. Okay, so that is going to be for those of you that have chosen number 4. All right. All right. Those of you that have chosen number 5, the Dean Cross. I know with number 5, I didn't feel anything that was complicated. It felt very, very just energy. Okay, so we're just going to see what's going to happen with you guys. So with the Dean Cross, what they're showing me here is that your path is very narrow. It's very, very narrow indeed. But it's a good kind of narrow. And it's just like you'll be able to prepare, fixate, and focus on what you're doing very easily. The thing is that it's going to be hard to balance self versus others, because it's kind of like dreaming, having dreams. To have dreams means, for self. To dream or to be dreaming is like to consider like yourself and others. But this is where you're going to be more in the energy of, okay, I've done enough for others. Let me do more for me. And there's this energy of, okay, no, I don't have time for that. And even though individuals, and I feel groups trying to get your attention, trying to get help from you, you're going to want to shy away. And they're asking you to be more empathetic. Because many times you're actually going to be that saving grace for another individual. But it doesn't even just feel like individualized. It feels like saving grace for multiple individuals. And this is where you have to release regret. You have to release guilt and annoyance and frustration from others just because of the mistakes of others or the mistakes of, the individuals that have wronged you. Because there is a lot of release that needs to happen. And you're unable to take a step back to realize, hey, I am going to be able to just let go. It doesn't mean exactly to forgive, but it just means to let go of. That way, you're feeling out the emotions. That way, you can get rid of anger. Because here, all I keep seeing is a lot of red energy. That's anger, that's frustration, that's bitterness, that's pettiness. And even though your path has the least amount of resistance, they're still showing me dramatic change and release needs to happen in order to go forward. Because this is a time that they don't want you to have another year with this emotion. Okay, and that's letting go of the past. It's kind of like letting bygones be bygones. It does not mean, hey, to be a fool again or to let people, take advantage of you. No, it just means for you and yourself to just let go, to longer think about or to not allow the negative emotions to overrule you, because later on down the line, these emotions will cause physical illnesses and chakra blockages. And they're already showing me that one of the blockages that it will create are headaches. So it's going to be like a block on our third eye and our crown chakra. Not because you don't want to say anything, but because that's where you're holding it. That's where you keep on thinking about it. That's where you're trying to get clarity and trying to flush it out. Well, your body is going to try to flush it out while you hold on to it. Now, what's expected in the next couple months, though, is beliefs that you are going to fight. All right, so this is where your guide team is like, okay, we need you to release principles and beliefs of this, this, and this. Not only just people, it's just like, okay, take this out of your life, take this out of your body, do something differently, like when it comes to like exercise, okay? But a lot of what you're doing is cleansing, and you will go through a deep cleanse. You're not gonna like it, but it's just like, it feels like that time period, that time of your cycle in order to cleanse. So expect the universe to purge you. So whether it's willingly or not, again, this is going to happen. And whenever aspects of your life start to fall away, don't fight it. Okay. Do not fight it. Just allow it to happen and know that it's supposed to be. Okay. And this means there's going to be people like really, really being washed out of your life. And you're going to be like, what? I thought they were good for me. Well, they need to get out of your life so they can fix themselves, so they can be better for you. Okay? So be patient. Be kind to yourself, even, because all I keep feeling is this fight against self. And there should not be a fight against self, because half of you want to be very, very empathetic and want to spread yourself and your energy, and the other half is just like, no, 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 I learned my lesson. Okay, this is where you got to be kind to yourself. Show yourself some self-compassion. That way, whenever the purging actually begins to happen, you'll actually understand what needs to be done and why you're being shifted through the different kinds of, I'm going to call them water cycles, because you're going to be flowing through your emotions like crazy. You're going to go from anger to joy to frustration to I want to isolate to I want to be around people quite a bit. And this is just where everything that is done during the purging will be taken out of you. Okay? So as much as it sounds bad, it's not bad whatsoever. I just think fighting against the natural flow of what the energy is going to take you through is going to be the most painful part. Okay, so for those of you that chose number 6, well, when I started pulling cards for this, there was a lot of sporadic energy. Like cards were going everywhere. The messages were very scattered. And it was just like a lot of you actually feel like you're in complete chaos. And it's just like you're not going to be able to get a handle on anything. So this is already telling me that your root chakra is out of alignment, because there was anxiety. There was this energy of, okay, I need to focus on all things at one time, but I can't exactly focus on one thing. So it was a whole lot of energy coming in. And anytime I try to like settle myself, I just became uncentered again. And I'm like, wow, so you number 6s, you have a lot going on. So you're represented by the sun. Now, with that being said, I can understand the energy flow. I can understand what's going on, because you guys are moving a lot. And it feels like here, it definitely feels like here. But a lot of you are also not moving enough here. So in other words, action-based, because that's what they show me. They show me action-based here. In other words, you're missing out on your own blessings. You're missing out on your own, I want to say, awakeness, because it just feels like divine energy has already been talking to me for a while, but I'm so like not concentrated on the spirituality part of my life that I'm missing everything. So what's happening now is I'm asking, I'm asking for help. I'm asking for advice. I'm being led to be both alone, but also in society. So, this is where a lot of you guys are needing to find that balance. Okay. And there is going to be balance with, hey, let me be social, but let me have my me time, you know? And this is where a lot of you are again split in half because even though you're surrounded by individuals, you still feel isolated. You still feel alone, like you don't have a community. And this is where the thinking pattern happens where you're losing out on blessings because where you should be looking is straight up. And again, they point to the suns, which is funny because, you guys are represented by the sun card because they're saying what you are not witnessing is what will be materialized like right in front of you. So this is going to be dreams. This is going to be finances, careers, family. Okay. And anything physical that you can see and touch, it's already trying to be presented to you. Now, all you have to do is not serve in that mindset of doubt, in that mindset of, hey, I have to have a hand on everything. Otherwise, I'll lose it or it won't go my way. Because what you're not realizing is that with the power of manifestation alone, you will be able to handle quite a bit with even less than half the effort that you've been trying to control everything. So, in other words, this means, hey, don't be afraid to rest. Rest a little bit, let time do its thing, and then boom, bam, you can actually put way more action, way more effort and time into completing, into succeeding, into accomplishing everything that you're wanting. Now, in terms of blessings, like one thing that I kept seeing was missing out. So, this is where many of you need not to say no. Okay? That means sometimes say yes, even if it seems minimal. Okay? And for example, let's just say a stranger offers us, slice of pizza. Just say yes, okay? Because even though this is, kind of like a metaphor of what I'm meaning, you're going to realize what this small token is going to mean for you later on, because that one slice of pizza can give you the energy you need to tackle the rest of the day versus being on an empty stomach, okay? And what they're showing me is that you do need to network. You do need to get out. You do need to be out in the sun, but you need to be active even if you do not feel the energy. So this is where a lot of you are going to have to put in like deep diving, hard work, and consideration into everything that you are doing. Because somewhere along the line, your light has been dampened. In other words, this is your will. It's been dampened, it's been shaded, and it needs to be kind of like revived. It needs to be recharged. Okay, so if you need a rest, again, rest. But once you're rested, find things to do, navigate, plan, prepare, because that is all the energy that I am seeing that needs to be done so that you can have a better forecast. And they do use the word forecast because every month it's supposed to get better and better versus becoming more and more stagnant. Do you understand? And I know for you guys, you're going to have to really captivate that fire energy, passions, desires, motivation, determination, and keep yourself accountable for the actions that you're taking, but also be considerate to what is trying to be given to you. Okay, because all I keep seeing is your harvest is not alone, it is with others. In other words, there is going to be more times this year that you will celebrate with others, that you will have the reality of, hey, teamwork makes the dream work, you know? All right, guys. So this concludes the Beltane Spread. And if you missed your reading, just go ahead and rewatch the video. Have a good night, guys. It was a pleasure reading this for you and undergoing and understanding what's to be expected going forward, okay? So